All right. Hello, party people. Can't hit you with the yo because
Hi, I'm Brittany. I know you know by now, but
you
still.
early. I didn't even introduce myself.
Listen,
The church is in morning.
the church is, the saints are
Okay.
served.
I'm Ashley of SingleWomanChronicles.com, where being single is a beautiful choice rather than a miserable circumstance.
And I'm Brittany L. Smith, Sweet Magnolia Season 2, coming to Netflix February the 4th. An early birthday present to me, so make sure you binge Season 1 now.
All right. We're not cross-eyed or cockeyed. We have two cameras in front of us.
Yes.
So that's why we're like looking up, down, whatever. But my phone has been buzzing for the last 30 minutes
The saints are hurt.
about these beautiful people. Devon Franklin and Meagan Good have officially filed for divorce.
Moment of silence. We are hurt. I'm hurt. I'm not ready.
And everyone has been messaging me, I guess, because I, one, support their union and I'm celibate. And I read The Wait at the beginning of my celibacy journey, and it actually helped me. And so I just think people are, of course, messaging me because they're like, what's my opinion as someone who supports Meagan and Devon and would never want them to get a divorce.
Ever, right.
I never want anyone to get a divorce except
Don't you pinpoint those people out.
who are getting abused mentally, emotionally, or physically in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But if those things are not what's happening, I don't support divorce, because my husband must know in our prenup, like, my prenup ain't gonna be much about money. It's gonna be more about, if you leave me, you die. And you sign off on it because I don't get charged if I kill you.
I feel like that's fair. Both parties.
Because ain't no
are
divorce.
aware.
What is that? What are we talking about? The what? What is that word?
The who?
That word no longer exists in my vocabulary once I jump the broom. What are you talking about? What you talking about? I'm over here spitting and clapping with my words.
That's how we
'cause it
feel
makes
today. We
sense.
feel all of the emotions. I get really loud. I'm sorry. I feel all the emotions.
I'm the loud one. She's getting loud. She feels the emotion. So I will let her go first because my mood is different from everybody else's, and I'll kind of explain why.
I'm hurt. We'll let her explain because she's more sane right now. But I'm in my feelings, okay? She done told me
Cue Drake
3 minutes ago that Devon Franklin filed for divorce from Meagan Good.
So
And
he
I
filed?
I googled it. It says he filed.
It was him.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but the point is
I didn't get
somebody
to research
filed.
because I was driving when it happened.
Oh, see, she was on the way.
Because usually
And-
I'm the researcher.
And finds out, and I'm hurt. I'm still hurt. So he filed for divorce. They've been married for 9 years, and for me that was really, really hurtful because you as someone who's like faith-based, and as they are faith-based, and you see people come together.
And they wrote a wonderful
And they
book
wrote
that
a
helped
wonderful
millions of people.
book early on in their marriage too.
Yes, that helped millions
The
of people.
Wait. The lessons and practicality in it are still great.
I'll get into that.
And so to see them and people of faith who both love God, who are both in a seemingly healthy relationship, and both harbor fidelity towards one another, you know, nobody's caught cheating or living a crazy life or anything like that, is really, 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 really hard. And I've had another friends who both of them were both believers and both had God in their relationship, and they still got divorced, and it's like soul crushing. It's really, really, really sad. So I'll be in and out with my feelings. I may be louder. I may be softer. I'm having all the emotions. Experience them with me. It's going to be a roller coaster tonight.
It's a bittersweet moment because the bitterness, of course, is the divorce. But the sweet part is they get to see the side of you that I see all the time. Because she's just like this polished shell, but on the inside is a ghetto lady twerking. I'm not going to tell them your nickname that I have for you.
Hey, we're not there yet.
One day she'll reveal it. But I know the truth. The people don't. Now they're going to find out. And I enjoy it.
I can't do this with you.
I enjoy it, honey.
I'm hurt, Ashley. I'm hurt.
So
Tell us why you're not hurt.
When the rumors first came out,
Was it a couple of weeks, months ago?
it was like a month ago. Of course, I investigated because people were like, "Is there trouble in paradise?" We haven't seen them together. We haven't seen them photographed together. And then I went on both of their Instagrams. I'm like,
right, they're still hyping each other's projects.
No.
Oh, really?
No. On their Instagram, there was no. At the time, a month ago, if you go on their Instagram right now, there's no them together. They weren't out together at events, important events, at the premieres. None of that. They weren't in pictures together.
Well, I think it was before Harlem came out, so it was before the premiere.
But even at the premiere, he wasn't there.
Yes, but see, here's my thing from somebody who was just like, oh, whatever, they're good. Like, sometimes married people are not there. You don't know what somebody else's schedule is like. Sometimes even when you're happy, you're not posting your spouse all the time. So I'm just thinking like, okay, they're living their life outside of the public eye. They're doing what normal spouses do. It's just like, okay, cool.
Well, as a blogger, my thought was, let me investigate what's being brought up. What was being brought up was, is there trouble in paradise because there are no pictures of them together? There's nothing on here showing that they're as happy as they used to, because it used to be game nights all the time with Grace Beyer and her husband.
I love them too.
Right.
They cannot. I can't take it.
As well as like all of these other pictures. And I don't care what you're doing. When premieres come up, fam. When they come up. Because if it was you and your husband that show up for your premiere, it ain't no excuses. So I'm over here like, why she even talking like this? Because you already know.
I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
You gonna swing on him as soon as you see him. It's like it's a flying fist. Like, you basically Superwoman across the room.
Dun, 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 dun,
but so few things for me though. So when I seen that happen, I brought it up to Brittany and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to pray for them. I feel in my spirit, I need to pray for them because I pray for a lot of celebrities. I pray for Kanye all the time because, it's Kanye. I pray, I pray for Trump because I'm like, bruh, if you leading this country, I need to pray for you because I need you to have a little bit of sanity going on. You know what I mean? Like, before he exited, like, I pray for everybody. So I felt like even if I don't know these people, I'm going to pray for these people. Like, I'm the girl who, when I say I'm going to pray for you, I'm like actually going to pray for you. You know what I mean? So I pray for them. But here's my hardest thing. Okay, so if you guys follow me, know me. I lead a life group, which is basically just a small Bible study on Wednesdays. So I'm really big into my word. Like, I read my Bible. I don't just listen to the pastor. I actually read it. I open it and
we actually read, but she actually reads the full chapters, the full verses in the book.
I even
just take scriptures and then run with it without knowing what's before or after it.
I even have a concordance. If you don't know what a concordance is, it is when the Bible was written.
Don't you have two?
I only have one. It's really big. It's huge. When the Bible was written, it was written in Hebrew and Greek. A lot of people don't understand that. Even when it was translated over to words, it was the only word that matched. But a lot of the times, those words in English don't mean the same in Greek and Hebrew. So when a word comes up that is confusing me, I'm going to my concordance and I'm trying to figure out like, hey, yo, what really did y'all mean with this? Because I'm not understanding it over here. So I said all that to say, my view on Christianity is a lot different from the societal view from mixed with religion and Christianity. So I didn't grow up in church. Jesus found me. I can't even say I found Christ because he chose me. I didn't choose him. That's in the Bible. I was 24 when I got baptized. And I enjoy it because I know both sides. I know the side of not being a Christian, but I also know the side of being a Christian, right? The hardest thing about Christianity is we can't make mistakes. We can't make mistakes.
But you're not
think of it like this. If a pastor makes a mistake, we're the only people scrutinized to a point where if that person makes a mistake, you full on gonna leave the congregation. Full on gonna leave Christianity just because the pastor made a mistake.
Well, yeah, leave Christianity.
You gonna full on leave Christianity. You ain't going to no other church. You ain't going to no other pastors. You like peace to Christianity because the pastor made a mistake. But riddle me this. You go to a hairstylist. That hairstylist messed your hair up. What are you gonna do? You're gonna find another hairstylist, right? You're not gonna say, I'm never going to a hairstylist again, right? But that's what happens in Christianity. For some reason, we're supposed to be perfect, although all up and through the New Testament of the Bible, it says nobody's perfect but Christ.
We all fall short.
And God, we all fall short. All of us. But Christianity is the only place where you don't get to make a mistake.
Yep.
So I already know what's about to happen.
You don't really love God. God couldn't be really with you. Oh, you ain't really this. You ain't really that.
So what's about to happen with the Meg and Devon divorce is all of these people are going to come out like, see, there's no God. God isn't real. People who wait for marriage, they're stupid.
See, that's what I just
you
said.
Shouldn't do you shouldn't do it because look what happens when you do.
Look what happens.
It doesn't make you blah 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 whatever. And so as a person who's a Christian, I'm here to say, shut up.
That's well put.
I'm going to tell you to shut up because here's the thing. As a person who's been celibate for going on 5 years in April, I started out, I'm not going to lie to you, when I started my celibacy, it was solely to get a man.
Mm-hmm.
It was solely because I felt like this is my journey to purity, to clean my coochie out from all the past ghetto Negroes.
And she had a time limit, y'all. She was like, I'm going to find my man in 6 months.
I said, because Meg in the book, she found hers in 9. I just knew God was going to deliver me between 9 and 12. Like, come on, Jesus.
She said, I'm going to meet him at 6 months.
Exactly, and period.
And period. That
and
was
period.
It.
So, full on going into celibacy was like, listen, I'm going to need me a man, right? Mm-hmm. Right? That's why I started.
Mm-hmm.
But in the midst of that, I was growing in my relationship with Christ. So after a year, about 3, because about 2, I was upset. I didn't celebrate.
One
I was like,
rough. Seeing her around here, one was rough.
F all this.
Yes.
I don't care about it anymore.
Yeah.
Y'all can suck things. I don't want it. Okay. So after like year 3, I really started recognizing my growth in Christ. And I realized that I don't do anything, not even celibacy, for a man, for anybody else but Christ.
Was there something that made you feel like it like clicked in your brain, like, oh, this isn't for a guy, this is for me and my relationship? Was there anything like a situation that happened, or it just clicked in your head?
No,
or...
I have moments with God, because I have quiet time with God daily. I don't just wait to go to church and listen to the pastor speak. I literally wake up every morning and I pray, and I go to sleep praying. Mm-hmm. When I get in my word, I just have moments with God where I realize, like, oh, that's what it was for. It's kind of like those prayers that are answered. Like, it's just that comes in that quiet time, that intimate time. And I realize, like, yo, if I'm doing this for any other reason than God, I'm not going to make it.
You're not.
I'm not going to make it. We're not going to take it.
We're not going to make it. It's a remix.
We're not going to make it. So I'm saying all that to say, oh, and the other thing, the other week, I had a moment with God because I was watching something on YouTube. And it was a beautiful young lady, and she was celibate as well. And then I just started thinking about all the beautiful celibate young ladies who wait for marriage, who ain't in no relationship. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is a scam. This is a scam.
This is a scam.
This is a scam.
Warning.
God, this is a scam. Why all the beautiful, wonderful women of God who out here waiting and saving their punani
with healthy souls
is single? This is a scam. You all had to tell me something, God. This is how we talk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he gonna tell me tomorrow. 3 seconds later, he literally said, because usually God, he gonna hit you with a question. He said, what are you doing it for? So what are you doing it for? Mm-hmm. When you look at people like Devon and Meagan, and you've been on your celibacy journey, and you've been waiting patiently, and you've been hoping, praying, and wishing for a marriage like theirs, a marriage like Sierra's and Russell's.
Your singlehood and your singleness.
And you're single and you're waiting and you're holding on to hope. When you see people like that break up, when you read their book, and that's the reason you probably started celibacy, when it happens, you have to go back to the drawing board. What are you doing it for? Are you doing it for Meagan and Devon, or are you doing it for God?
Mm-hmm. And it's hard because I know for some people, we talked about this in one of our other episodes, like people may never have lived in a situation where they got to see a healthy marriage or they've got to be in a healthy relationship. So people sometimes, a lot of the times with social media and public figures, they look to them as like, oh, that's the example that I never had. That's something that I can like look forward to and model my life after because I've never seen it in my family, never seen it with my friend's family, And so now you like, whether you know it or not, put these people up on a pedestal who are like, honey, they can do no wrong. They will never do any wrong. They will always be this, that, and the third. And then it ends up not going the way that you thought. And you're like, oh, so no matter what happens, I too am going to end up in that situation. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have that same thing happen to me. And that's what is problematic if you are not focused on what you're doing it for. Mm-hmm. If you're thinking that like, oh, I just want to do it so I can be famous and have the books and be the couple goals. People love to be throw out couple goals. I mean, hardcore. Or what's the other one? Power couple, couple goals, couple something, whatever. You know, all of that stuff is what they're looking for.
Seriously. This whole power couple, what kind of power y'all getting? Like, explain it to me. Because buying Gucci, Louis, Prada, and having matching shoes and cars, what kind of power is that? Like, all y'all doing is like building wealth and all of this stuff like that. That's great. That's wonderful. That's phenomenal. But
if you are even building wealth,
unless you're building flex, and we ain't gonna talk about that.
Building flex. That's what.
But it's just like, how does that make you a power couple? I think for me, I'm more focused on being influential. I'm more focused on being effective. How can I change somebody's life and make it better?
Well, see, that's the thing. So if you're not focusing on like what you're doing it for, what are you like doing your singleness for? Because some people choose to be single, or some people are single until God sends their mate to them. Mm-hmm. And they're like, God, if it's not for me, if this is not the one that you have for me, I don't want it. I'm currently there right now, and I'm like trying to pray away. I don't want any other person. I'm not taking any more L's. I want the person that you have for me. I will learn at the relationship. I will learn how to be a partner in a relationship. I will learn marriage. I will learn all this stuff. But speaking for me, cannot do it with somebody else if I'm about to break up with them. I'm just gonna have to wait until God sends the right person, because I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, I know y'all questions is coming, so I'm gonna ask it to myself. Ashley, what about me? I've been waiting, and they were my only hope, and they got a divorce, so what's the point? I'm gonna tell you this. The point is God. And that's why your relationship gotta be tight. That's why your why gotta be tight. Because if your why is not in God, then you're not gonna make it. But let me be practical with you. I look at Christian marriage like I look at worldly marriage. What I mean is, we are human. We make mistakes.
And marriage is hard.
Let's go to all Christian marriage. Tamala man, David man. They didn't wait till marriage, but they have a godly marriage. Mm-hmm. Erica Campbell and her dude, he cheated on her. They still together. Even her other sister, Mary, they cheated, still together. I look at all marriage the same. Nothing is perfect. Right. It's people out here like, no. But for me, like, deal breaker. Cheating, what we talking about? What? No.
Right. Because I really don't feel like bailing you out of jail. I don't
like, what are we talking about? But at the same time, what I'm saying is, we just like going back to that hairstylist example, we can't feel like just because they just so happen to be Christian and they're married that Christianity don't work. Or that waiting on God for your marriage don't work. Mm-hmm. We got to get out of that mindset. Because again, you're not gonna leave the whole hairstylist industry just because a hairstylist got your style wrong. Right. No, you're just gonna go find somebody else. Right. Same thing. Let's stop putting so much weight on other people's marriage for your example and just wait for you to be your own example.
To be your own example.
Be your own example.
Because at the end of the day, my marriage is not going to be the same as Ashley's marriage. Her marriage is not going to be the same as my marriage because I'm Brittany. She's Ashley. Her mate is her mate. My mate is my mate. And even though we both have a relationship with God, even though our marriages will be godly and everything, they're still going to be different because that's just what our assignment is. Marriage is marriage. And for people who are married, whether you're a saint, whether you're not, whether you're of the world, whether you're of God, marriages are hard. Marriages have difficulties. Marriages, I mean, and it doesn't have to be like we're working through cheating for some people, yes. But marriages with people who are both faithful, they still have problems. They still have things to work through. And especially marriages with kids, because that's a whole nother level
marriages
and added
with
to
2021.
You know?
And social media.
So those are all different things. So everybody will have their own experience, but it's you and your person. It's you and what your foundation is. It's you and your why. It's you and being healthy. And now we don't know why he filed for divorce. I think we're still like in the new phases. I think it said he filed yesterday, which is December 20th.
I mean, you talk about in the new phases, girl. We just found out an hour ago. So yes, we're in the new phases.
Yes.
But I just want to say this for all the people who are naysayers who gonna come on here and be like, I'm stupid because I'm talking about God. Listen, if you was depending on them to make it for you to stay celibate, go get your coochie wet. Get your coochie wet. Go get it wet. I want you to go get it wet. I want you to go get it wet right now. And I want you to come back to me and let me know how that made you feel. Did it help you get closer to your man?
No.
Did it help you feel more whole?
Do you feel guilty?
Did it help? I don't even care about the guilt because listen, I love to get my coochie wet right now. But at the same time, it's not going to help me towards my goal of marriage. My goal is still marriage. Period. If they got a divorce or not, like, it's still marriage. That's not helping me towards my goal. Anyone who comes to me and asks me for dating advice, my first question to them is, what is your goal? If your goal is marriage, tell me what you're doing. Tell me the activities you're doing to prepare for that. But if your goal is casual relationship busted wide open, my advice is going to be very different to you.
Now, is it?
Because it's like, what's your goal? Because if you telling me you want to go 75 north, I'm going to point you in one direction. But if you telling me you want to go 85 south, I'm going to point you in another direction. Mm-hmm. You got to tell me what is your destination. But my advice is going to be different.
Even, yes, to say that is absolutely accurate. But also, like, are you just want marriage because you just want somebody to put a ring on your finger? Because marriage and being married to a suitable person are two different things. I know plenty of people who want to get married and have said yes to people who absolutely made their lives miserable. Mm-hmm. But they're like, I wanted marriage, but that's not what I meant. What I meant was like, oh, well, you didn't say that. You didn't have like the specifications. Well, that's a whole
different subject.
Well, I want people to be like mindful
I want to shift into that subject because that subject is the divorce rates right now are high, period. Very high. They're high, period. Not just because of a Christian or worldly or
and especially
Buddhist
post-COVID.
Or Buddhist or Muslim. I'm just naming all of them. Like, all of them are high.
Especially post-COVID.
And I feel like it's because of what Brittany said. Everyone looks at the word marriage. I wish I had something that said marriage differently. Everyone looks at it different. So you have to figure out, what does a marriage look like to you? And before you go into a marriage, I'm pretty sure you have to ask that person, what does it look like to you?
You got to have that conversation.
Because if y'all don't have that conversation, y'all not going to make it.
And because one, yes, exactly. Because what looks like marriage to you may not be marriage to me, may not be anything I want to be a part of, actually. And that definitely changes. And so you need to have that conversation with somebody because compatibility and suitability are two different things.
What do you think the top 3 reasons for people getting divorced so quickly nowadays are?
Sad. I do.
These are our opinions. You can get on here and you can call us single and we don't know what we're talking about and you can call us all kinds of names and it don't matter because I ain't gonna read the comments. But do your thug dizzle. A lot of people. This is just my opinion from somebody who's 32 who has talked to married people. I study marriage because I want to be married. And I want to understand what it's all about. Mm-hmm. And that's just even outside of my Christianity and my values. Like, these are questions that I ask because they're necessary. Because I want to know, what am I getting myself into? What is it? Because even if I wasn't getting married, I still wouldn't be out here getting my coochie wet. And that's because before I started celibacy, all sex did was hurt me, baby. That's all it did. All it did was drain me and make me give my coochie to somebody who didn't deserve it.
Make you
ain't deserve this coochie. Make me question myself, make me feel like I'm less than worthy because I understand now the value of this vagina and I'm not giving it to y'all. Like, come on, no, I'm straight. Like, because I've even thought about it. I'm sorry. I've even thought about giving it to some of these jokers and not even waiting to marriage, but none of them even, you couldn't even wait and put in the work required. All I'm asking is a little bit of effort. Like, for real?
Effort is a curse word.
For real?
Effort is a 4-letter word.
Okay, I'm done.
I don't know why people get divorced nowadays, but I know, like, legally, probably the number one reason is cited is irreconcilable differences. I know I said that wrong.
Irreconcilable.
Yes, irreconcilable differences. Said it right that time. When I don't, and that just seems like an umbrella statement to me. It's just like, whatever. We can put whatever we want underneath it. I don't know if people have the time or making the time to make things work.
What do you think irreconcilable differences are?
That's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes people don't have the schedules. Somebody travels a lot. Somebody doesn't travel a lot. You're never here. If you're never here to work on your marriage, that's the thing. Some people, it may be a sex-related thing. Some people may be like, well, now that we're always together, like, maybe your sex life doesn't suit this sex life. I don't know. Could be faith-based. It could be political-based. It could be...
The politicians did mess up a lot of marriages.
Yeah, see?
A lot of folks got divorced over Trump, boy.
Right. It did. It's just like, I've been married to you for how long? And you support who now?
Exactly.
And irreconcilable differences also can just mean we argue a lot. Or I don't have time to make this work. Or you're not making as much as me, or I don't feel like supporting you financially, like I want someone financially on my level. It could be an umbrella of things. So I think that's what it is. I know, especially in entertainment business, that's what a lot of people file. So that's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna tell you my 3.
Your 3?
My 3. Social media. Social media. 1 is gonna always be social media. 2 is gonna be a lack of awareness. And 3 is gonna be, how I'm gonna put this? Instant gratification.
Oh, I think instant gratification should be first. I get it.
Okay. I'm
Mm.
gonna take y'all through them. Social media, number 1. Social media. So if you don't know, I have a master's in positive psychology, which is the study of positive emotions. So in one of my studies on self-worth, it talks about how constant exposure to images that you feel look better than you are or are better than your life instantly decreases your self-esteem, your self-worth, right? So if you're in a marriage and you having a bad day with your partner, they getting on your everlasting nerves, and you go on Instagram and you probably been talking about it, and your phone be sneaking and geeking and be pulling up stuff that you've been talking about. They hear you. So you are annoyed with your partner, so you on there, everybody seem happier than you. Everybody happier than you.
That's when all the relationship pictures
everybody is happier than you on that day.
You get ads about like people falling in love and
or that person or that one thing because you already know is what is the 80-20 rule. That 20% that they don't do, that 20%, everybody getting that 20% from their partner, but it seemed bigger for you now than 20. It seems like the 80 because you're getting exposed to all of these other people that's getting that 20 that you yearn for.
Yep.
That's number 1. Social media got you messed up. Also gives people access to other people so quickly. Because, back in the day, and that's another thing, back in the day, cheating, infidelity, flirting, all of that stuff was shunned upon. People were hiding that. It's not a secret no more. It's polygamy. It's open marriages. I'm not saying. It's just all kinds of things.
It's glorified.
It's glorified.
There was a time, I think, especially when we were growing up, all that stuff was just quiet because people kept it under wraps, you know, and coming up from those times. And then now it's like, the more people I can cheat on, the better. The more people who know that I'm cheating on them, the better. The more that I have side families with my side family, the more I'm praised. You know, you're making my stock go up. Single, one person. Who does that?
Who does that? Right.
You gotta have, you know, your
you gotta have
one wife, a mistress, and a girlfriend.
Something.
And then your girlfriend has to have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then she has to have, I don't know what's
so
next.
Social media is making it worse. And just giving access to more people to cheat. The second thing I said, lack of awareness. A lot of people get married without knowing who they are, what they need. A lot of the times what you want is not what you need. For example, I know Ashley. I cannot date a man who doesn't communicate with me throughout the day. He will get choked out expeditiously.
I'm telling y'all.
I can't do it. I know I have friends who will be like, I don't need to talk to my dude every day. We can talk every other day. That's you, not me. I need someone who's, and I'm not saying we texting all day long like you get busy. I'm talking about, okay, hey, we touch bases in the morning, in the afternoon, hey, I'm on my lunch break, what's up? And then in the evening, you in talk. I need that. I need that. So me dating somebody like a professional athlete, he tall and got all the money and stuff, that's cute, but you can't hit me up all day. So I don't like that.
She doesn't.
I don't like that. So I couldn't date that. Even if I wanted that, I couldn't date that. And I wouldn't do myself like that because I'm aware of me and who I am and what I need. I think a lot of people have this. I just heard a podcast I was telling Brittany about. This guy was on there and he was talking about a lot of men have this woman in their head, this woman that's on paper, that's a good woman, but they don't realize that that woman may not make them feel how they need to feel in order to commit forever. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say they want this one thing because a lot of our choices are skewed because of societal norms. Period.
A lot of the choices are like superficial anyway. You know? Because
of societal norms, it's not what you need. It's
right.
what you want because TV told you to want it. They break down. They know our psychology. They know what we want. They know what we like.
Attractive
they know what
people.
Even what looks good changes over the years because of society. That's how much they brainwash us. Like just a few in the 90s. Have y'all watched Boomerang? All them heifers was skinny.
Everybody on 90s TV was skinny.
Skinny. And now thick is in.
And you had to hide your butt if you had a big butt.
Exactly. Now thick is in. So don't tell me that they're not brainwashing you into believing these things. They are. So that's why you have to know yourself and be aware. And the last one is instant gratification. In the Bible, there are several books in the New Testament that talks about suffering. In this life, you will suffer. Long suffering is a thing. Okay? You hear what I'm saying? Long suffering means suffering for a long time. Okay? You heard what I said? So, we in this world that don't want to suffer at all. Any inconvenience.
About anything.
And the more technology grows, even with COVID, now everybody want groceries delivered. Amazon can deliver your pack. You can order your package at 2 p.m. and get your package delivered by 6.
Maybe even quicker.
Listen, I'm going to tell you that. I'm with Jeff. Please don't tell me nothing about Amazon. Because my eyes is closed.
Please do right.
Because I don't know if I can boycott him. I don't know if I can do it. I ordered it at 2. It came by 6. The shipping was only $3.
If there was a shipping charge.
With the same day, it is a charge.
Oh, yeah, same
but
day.
With same day, everywhere else would have been 20. But it's only 3 and everything else free. What?
Speaking my language.
I don't understand. But when we're in a society that tells us that
nothing is wrong.
We constantly have to be in a state of bliss. We constantly have to be happy. Because if you're not happy every single day, all day with your partner, that means you need to divorce them.
And to cut off anything that's challenging to you.
And it's like, didn't y'all say pressure make diamonds? So diamonds wouldn't be made with this mindset.
No.
That don't make sense.
We just want cubic zirconias.
Yes.
And then flex on them like
yes, on these fools.
Yes.
So I feel like that's really, like Brittany said, number one. I think the instant gratification. And again, I'm not talking about Meagan and them because I don't know why they got a divorce. But I'm saying this is why I feel like a lot of people our age in our society right now today in 2021 in all the 20s really are getting a divorce because a lot of people want it quick, and they be feeling like the feeling that I felt when I first got engaged to you, first married you, that's how I'm gonna feel forever. And that's not true.
That's not it.
If you watch the TV show Black Love, y'all, I watched that show. I heard these married people say, you remember that year I didn't talk to you?
Yeah.
You didn't talk to your partner for a year?
I remember there was some celebrity who was just like happy. He was talking about his wife. It was a post, and he made a video or something, and he was like, let's say they were married for like 20 years, and he's just like, I loved saying happy anniversary to you for these last 19 years. And in parentheses, he was like, because that 1 year we didn't like each other.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk to each other. But the other 19, we made it through. And people have, just because it's your anniversary doesn't mean that you like your spouse. But it's what you were talking about. I want to jump on like instant gratification is this society definitely makes you feel like you have to cut off anything that challenges you or challenges you to be better. Like we all want to say, be better, focus on self, do all of this, whatever. But what makes you better is facing the truth. What makes you better is accountability. What makes you better is realizing sometimes you need to say sorry and apologize. But those are not things that are
discomfort is growth. You can't have comfort and growth in the same
And
sense.
if you're not doing it, if you are not uncomfortable,
you're not growing.
If it feels good all the time, I promise you, jagged edge, promise. You are not growing. You're not. I know some people are like, no, that's not really my thing. You don't have to focus on negative energy. You absolutely don't. But growing is uncomfortable.
Period.
We've all outgrown the clothes that we had when we were children.
Try to put them
on. They're going to look awkward. You can't get into them. They're going to hurt. Something's going to break. And
either the seams or you.
Or the seams. Or you just know like this is not for me. This is not what it is. That's exactly what it should be. It's like growing is growing pains. You do get better. You are stretched. You are put into positions in order to evolve, but it's going to be discomforting. And so people think that and that's also the second part I wanted to focus on. That when people get to marriage, especially, I've known from dudes, I've heard them say, people think that if you're not celibate before marriage, or that's not it, if you're not faithful before marriage, once you get married, you'll be faithful. That don't make no sense.
You ain't had no practice. That's like somebody listen, I ain't never played basketball a day in my life, but if you draft me to the league, I got you.
But the minute
Houseway, how you got him? You ain't never had no practice.
You don't even know what the X's and O means in the practice. You don't know what side of the court we on.
What's the play? What's the play? How many players on the team?
That's not what Madden said, because in the instruction manuals, it said if I hit the X box at the circle. You know what I mean?
You need that discipline.
And that's right. Your discipline comes before marriage. And people think that marriage is why I was saying marriage in general, they think is a cure-all, fix-all for all of the problems that you have beforehand. It's not. If you don't know how to communicate,
it worse from what I heard. Because when they feel like I got you, or I can be my full ghetto self.
My full self. If you don't know how to communicate before marriage, how is that going to work before? Would you marry somebody that you don't speak to or on the regular every day? We already know the answer, but I love seeing her face. If you're not a person who's able to be disciplined enough to not sleep with everything that breathes and moves before you get married, what is that going to do when you are married? When you're yelling or
stop cold turkey check.
You think you stop with cold turkey. That's not gonna happen, and it's not gonna work. So when you have those two things mixed together, it's like, I'm gonna just do whatever I want to do. I'm gonna be me, I'm gonna be grown, and then now you're in marriage, and you've lasted 4 days outside of that honeymoon phase, and now you're met with real issues of waking up and living with a whole other human being who has a whole other life and a whole other set of upbringings than you, and you guys have to come together to make this work as your union. Now you're like, well, what is this?
I feel like when people read their vows or they say I do, they don't be listening. Because it literally says for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Or worse. Sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Sickness. That means if the day after you get married, your person falls sick with cancer, loses all their hair, loses the working of their limbs, you still gotta be down.
Mm-hmm. Christopher Reeves, his Superman, way back in the day, mm-hmm. Superman, great, everything. Superman, you know, in the, I think it was the 70s, don't quote me on the year. And then he fell from a horse and became a quadriplegic, and his wife held him down.
She's a woman.
She's
She's a down woman.
G. Like,
she is a G.
Your husband went to have a nice leisure activity, and then all of a sudden he cannot move anything from his neck down. I had another family friend, they got married, wanted to have kids. He bought a motorcycle, had a motorcycle accident. He was like in ICU for like 8 weeks. Whew. Had to relearn how to talk, had to relearn his limbs, had metal plates put in his head. Much less, you can't, like, they didn't have a baby after that. She just took care of him. I mean, I'm talking like a 15-year like healing span. And wow. Now that he's finally, healed and everything together, they finally have kids. But you think if you know that going into a marriage, you'd be like, let's hit this one out, guys.
So listen to the vows, people. I just think people think marriage. This is what people hear when they hear marriage. I think a lot of people just think the title of a marriage makes you better. No, they make you better than somebody.
A flex.
Yeah,
because like they think I'm married. You're not.
I thought you said fixer.
Oh no, it's a flex.
They think, flexer. Gotcha.
It's like
they think it makes you better than somebody. Like it makes you more elite than another person that's single. That's one thing. And then two, they only think about I get to be with this person forever. They don't think about I get to be with this person even when I don't feel like it. Even if this person gets sick. Even if this person goes to jail. Even if this person when
they get on my nerves,
get fat. Even if this person, something like you don't think about the bad and you have to. And I think for me, I think about the long suffering the most, which is crazy because I'm like, are you capable? I done suffered in my life, so I think I'm capable. But it's like, are you capable of those things? So I just think we have to
people do marry people they don't like.
They do.
I have loved somebody that I know I didn't like.
And I have a friend, I can't wait to have her on. I'm going to have her on in January. I mentioned her last time, who's been married for like 8 or 9 years. She's probably approaching a decade right now. But it's beautiful because she's our age and they've never had infidelity. It's just been like the issue she tells me about is regular people issues. Like, how do you redefine the spark? That's the hardest part. Or losing yourself in the marriage, in the kids, in the day-to-day, and you forget. Like, dang, I'm in a whole relationship. This is my roommate, though.
I was reading a book. It's called Boundaries in Dating. And they have a whole boundaries series. But it's a great. And they were talking about, pre-marriage or single folks. Everybody's like, what do you want in a spouse? And like, I want somebody who's like 6'2" and has this color eyes and makes this much money and is gorgeous or blah, blah, blah. And they say, because they are also practicing therapists, and they said, when they're with their clients, the majority of problems isn't if someone's attractive enough, isn't if someone doesn't have money enough.
They said it's not even if somebody prays enough.
It's not even somebody prays enough. It's like communication, fidelity. Can I trust this person with money? Can I trust this person with responsibility? Maybe how do we raise our kids? It's like, and that was really eye-opening to me because people on the outside make marriage seem like it's the end-all, be-all, fix-all to any of the problems. Like, what's the cure for singleness is marriage, and we're going to be fantastic. You get paired with the wrong person for the rest of your life and be miserable than you were when you were single. But then you have to work on those things when they were talking about communication and how do you rekindle the spark? And, is he attracted to you? Are you attracted to him after the weight gain or weight loss? I don't know what's your thing.
Right.
And so
they cut their beard off for lost it.
Stick it back on. Just put some glue, some little facial glue, stick that sucker back on. And so that leads to the bigger picture of focusing in your singlehood. Like, okay, when you get married, these are the things that you need to pay attention to, not all the superficial aesthetic stuff that society constantly wants you to choose from.
Yeah. So again, we don't know what they got a divorce for.
I'm so sad.
At the end of the day, this is just what I want you to...
One more time. I'm sad.
End of the day, this is what I want you to leave this with. Grieve that they were the couple that encouraged you. I get that because I'm the type of person, like, when I'm going through a struggle, I try to find people who are also going through that struggle who made it out. So I know, okay, cool, I'm going to make it out. So if they were your couple, grieve it. I get it. Why you're upset. I get some of y'all modeled them and y'all may have even made them an idol without knowing, you know, but it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to grieve it, but please don't put this on God. Please don't feel like God is abandoning them or abandoning you because the couple that was supposed to make it didn't. Please don't feel like being celibate no longer works because the people who were celibate, they didn't make it. So what's the point? Understand, redefine your why. And for me, understand, like, for somebody like me, again, I would love to get my coochie wet, but in my process of celibacy, I've grown so much as a person. And the woman I am today, I know for a fact I never could have become her as quickly as I did without cutting that part out of my life. Because remember why you cut sex off in the first place. Because it wasn't just because you read the weight. Something triggered you to stop. For me, I told you, sex hadn't done nothing but hurt me. And all the dudes I gave it to, none of them deserved it. I'm going to tell you right now, none of them deserve my body.
None of them deserved it.
None of them deserved it.
All trash.
All of them were trash. So it's like that 3 seconds of climax that you get, is it worth it for real? So just remember your why and remember why you started in the first place, and don't feel like just because they didn't work that God is no longer working. That's not the truth.
That's not the truth.
So that's all I got to say.
And like you said the last time, what would you say to your followers who are not faith-based?
And my people who are not faith-based, I don't really got nothing to say to them in this one, just because, is this recording? I'm sorry, we're having the technical difficulties per usual. If you're not faith-based and you're taunting those who are feeling like the process doesn't work, all I can do is pray for you, because is your process working?
Well, yeah, I get that. But I'm not faith-based, but still believe in marriage, but faith-based, but still wanted to be celibate for the right.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing, because it's kind of like, what are you doing?
And it has to be bigger than you.
And it has to be bigger than wanting to get married or feeling like, because honestly, right now in today's day and age, when they are making fun of young ladies who are in high school, middle school for being virgins, middle school and high school are being made fun of for being virgins. Because in my day,
it was prized possession. What?
It was a prized possession, but right now it's like you're being looked down upon for not busting it wide open. Honestly, being celibate is actually not good if you're trying to get a man. So your why definitely got to be heavier.
It's got to be, and it has to be bigger. It has to be bigger than your feelings, because
for sure,
feelings change. Feelings fluctuate.
Feelings are liars.
Feelings are liars, and they go through a myriad of emotions.
It just goes back to what made you consider celibacy in the first place. Because if sex was good to you and it hadn't done nothing but make you feel good, and you were cool with it, because some people do have a healthy relationship with sex and they're cool, that's fine. But I'm talking to the people who are upset with the fact that Meg and Devon got a divorce because they were either considering celibacy, they are in the process right now, and they're feeling like, what's the point? Mm-hmm. Remember why you stopped in the first place, because there was a reason. Because all the people that I know who had sex after being celibate for a while all came to me and told me it wasn't worth it. Mm-hmm. Don't do it. I'm telling you, they came to me. Don't do it. It wasn't worth it. I wish I wouldn't have done it. So, yeah. But again, end of the day, don't blame God. That's all I gotta say. Just don't blame Jesus. Like, Jesus up here like, Because we don't know what happened.
We don't know what
But I
happened.
just know because of Christianity, they don't get the same grace
They don't.
as everybody else.
Christians are not supposed to have problems.
Yeah, and that's
Ever.
a lie. Because if you read your Bible, if you turn with me to 1 Peter,
Or scroll on your Bible.
if you scroll through Corinthians, really, if you read anything Paul wrote, and he wrote a large portion of the New Testament.
In the center of which I am the
He
greatest.
talked to you about you's gonna suffer.
Mhm.
Okay? If you's a Christian, you's gonna suffer. Okay? Got to add the S to it. So you knows that it's real. But yeah, the church is in mourning, and I look forward to hearing the opinions because I know it's gonna
But
be a
there's peace after suffering. Okay.
Yeah.
There's peace after suffering. We don't want to leave you on a like downer, but
It's not a downer. It's just,
it's real.
Mourning, what is it? What is it? Something come at night. Joy come in the morning. What is it? What's the scripture?
Which one are you thinking about?
Some come.
But joy comes in the morning.
Yes, you can't think of the first part either.
I know.
Yeah,
it's gonna come as soon as we
come as soon as
log
we
off
stop
this.
it. Yeah, I be reading my Bible. That don't mean that I memorize all the scriptures. But bye, you guys.
Bye.